In the warm heart of Tando village, the Mativo family was the picture of happiness. There was Baba Mativo, a strong road builder, Mama Layla, whose cooking filled the village with delicious smells, and their two children, Canelo and Sodi, whose laughter echoed through the fields. Their home was a place of joy, loved by all who knew them. But as life got busier, things began to change. Baba Mativo's work took him far from home, and Mama Lila's catering business demanded more and more of her time. The children, once surrounded by love and attention, found themselves spending long hours alone. The playful shouts and giggles that once filled their small home began to fade, replaced by a growing silence. No one in the village, not even their own parents, noticed the quiet shift. A storm was gathering on the horizon, one that would challenge the Mativo family in ways they could never have imagined. Canelo, now a proud secondary school student, cherished the new phone his father had given him as a reward for his excellent grades. His younger sister, Sodi, clever and curious, loved borrowing it when he wasn't looking. Together, they dived into a world of games, funny videos, and exciting stories. It was a new, thrilling escape. But one evening, their innocent curiosity led them down a path they weren't ready for. They stumbled upon content that was confusing, things that no child should ever see. They brushed it off as harmless fun, a silly secret between them, but what their eyes saw, their young hearts couldn't easily forget. In the quiet darkness of their hut, that seed of curiosity began to sprout into a tangle of confusion and shame, while the wind outside whispered warnings that went unheard. With Mama Lila working late into the evenings and Baba Mativo only home on weekends, the children were left to fend for themselves. They cooked, they cleaned, and they tried to fill the long, empty hours. The once inseparable pair started to drift apart. They stopped their playful games in the fields and instead locked themselves away in their rooms. Canelo became fiercely protective of his phone, guarding it like a precious treasure. Sodi grew quiet and distant, pulling away from her mother's touch. The neighbors began to whisper, wondering what had happened to the house that once rang with so much laughter. Mama Lila tried to reassure herself, saying, "They are just growing up," but a cold knot of worry was tightening in her heart. Sometimes love can blind us to the truths that are right in front of our eyes. One evening, a feeling she couldn't ignore led Mama Layla to the children's room. She opened the door without knocking. What she saw made her blood run cold. Her heart shattered into a million pieces. A choked cry of pain escaped her lips as tears streamed down her face. Her children were not wicked or evil. They were simply lost, misguided by a world they had explored without a guide. That night, the Mativo house was filled with a deafening silence, broken only by the sound of a mother's heartbroken sobs. Baba Mativo was called home immediately. When he arrived, he finally saw the devastating cost of their absence. The storm that had been brewing in the shadows had finally broken, unleashing its full force upon their family. At first, Baba Mativo was in denial. "They are just children. This is nonsense," he shouted, his voice filled with anger and disbelief. But Mama Lila, with a mother's intuition, knew the truth was far more serious. She pleaded with him to listen, to see the reality of their situation. Desperate, they sought the counsel of the wise village elder, Mizi Baruti. He listened patiently and advised them to visit a counselor in the nearby town. The counselor spoke to them with gentle but firm words. "Children are like sponges," she explained. "They learn from what they see and hear. When parents are not there to guide them, the world becomes their teacher." The weight of that truth was crushing. Baba and Mama Lila cried together, not from shame, but from a painful realization. It was time to act, to rebuild their family before it was too late. Following the counselor's advice, the difficult decision was made to separate Canelo and Sodi for a while. Canelo was sent to the city to live with his uncle, a man known for his strict and disciplined ways. Sodi was sent to her grandmother's farm, deep in the serene countryside. The first few weeks were filled with tears and loneliness for both of them. They missed each other, and they missed the home they once knew. But slowly, like seeds planted in new soil, lessons began to grow. Under his uncle's firm but loving guidance, Canelo learned the value of hard work, discipline, and respect. Sodi, surrounded by the wisdom of her grandmother, discovered the importance of patience, the beauty of self-respect, and the quiet strength of womanhood. The separation was painful, but it was the beginning of their healing. Life in the city was a struggle for Canelo. Some of his new friends teased him about his past, but his uncle was his rock. "Your past is not a prison, my boy," he would say. "It is your teacher. Learn from it, but do not let it define you." Canelo took these words to heart. A profound change began to take place within him. He started to dream of a future where he could help other children avoid the mistakes he had made. He wanted to become a teacher. He began putting his new resolve into action, helping the younger children in his neighborhood with their homework each morning. The boy who had once been lost in a digital maze was now becoming a beacon of guidance for others, finding his purpose in service. Meanwhile, on the farm, Sodi blossomed into a thoughtful and graceful young woman. Her grandmother, a wellspring of village wisdom, often told her, "A river that forgets its source will eventually run dry." Sodi cherished these words, understanding that she needed to stay connected to her roots and her values. She started talking with the other girls in the village, sharing what she had learned about self-worth and respecting their bodies. The elders admired her maturity and insight. Her heart, once clouded with confusion, now radiated with a clear, bright light. She missed her brother deeply and longed for the day they could reunite, not with shame, but with forgiveness and understanding in their hearts. After a year had passed, Baba Mativo brought his children home. The reunion was quiet and tentative. The house felt different, filled with a new, fragile hope. When Canelo saw Sodi, he couldn't meet her eyes. He bowed his head, his voice barely a whisper. "I am sorry," he said, the words heavy with regret. "So am I," Sodi replied softly, her voice filled with a quiet strength. In that moment, the wall between them crumbled. Their parents wrapped them in a long, heartfelt embrace. That evening, as they sat around the crackling fire, the Mativo family talked. They truly talked for the first time in years. There were no more secrets, no more silence, only honesty and love. Their home was finally healing. The story of the Mativo family became a powerful lesson for the entire village. Baba Mativo and Mama Leila, having learned from their painful experience, began speaking with other parents. They shared their story, emphasizing the importance of being present and guiding children through the complexities of the modern world. Canelo and Sodi grew into strong, respectful, and wise young adults, their bond stronger than ever. Their pain had been transformed into a powerful purpose. Their story serves as a timeless reminder. When parents are too busy, the world becomes the teacher, and not all of its lessons are kind. True love requires more than just provision. It demands presence, patience, and guidance. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with us. We hope it has touched your heart. If you found this story meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content that inspires and uplifts. We'll see you in the next video.